You're listening to Gamedaytarps podcast, coast to coast, with your hosts, Ryley, Dakota, Dallas, Daeden, and Wilbs.
Welcome back to episode 36 of Gamedaytarps podcast. Fellas, we have ourselves a huge day today.
A huge day it is, as we bring on a huge guest who played for the Kamloops Blazers, played for the World Junior Canada team, and got drafted by the Dallas Stars, and won Rookie of the Year with the Texas Stars. Without further ado, let's get right into this with a special guest, Logan Stankoven.
With the 47th overall selection in the 2021 NHL Draft, Dallas Stars have selected Logan Stankoven from Kamloops of the Western Hockey League.
Chase, he's around the man. It's Stankoven.
The guest we have been talking about, Logan Stankoven of the Dallas Stars in the National Hockey League. Thanks for coming on, man. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, man. I'm a Kamloops boy, born and raised. We got Dakota, who also lives in Kamloops, and Dallas, who lives in Kamloops. So it's real special having you on here. Just, being a Kamloops boy myself, cheering for the Blazers, who we know you played for. The owner obviously owns the Dallas Stars, so that's an awesome connection as well. So we just thought we'd, spitball some questions at you here. My first one is, what was it like growing up in Kamloops, living here, playing in the Kamloops Minor Hockey Association? What was your experience with that as a young guy?
It was really special. A lot of people over the years have gave up their time to help me reach my goals and succeed in life. Lots of different coaches and strength trainers over the years. So it's nice that I've made it as far as I have, and I know the hard work isn't done yet, but hopefully I can keep putting in the work here to reach new levels.
That's awesome. And going all the way back, let's take it all the way back to your Bantam draft year. Did you know you were going to Kamloops 5 overall? Was that kind of the plan? I know sometimes the Bantam draft's a little bit easier than the NHL draft. Sometimes players have a say or they don't. So what was your experience with that?
I didn't know at the time where I was going to be going. Obviously, things just kind of worked out well with Kamloops being in that range. And, Kamloops was my first choice, obviously, for sure. Yeah. I did try and keep both options open, going the college route as well. But, you just can't say no to the hometown team. So, I think that was definitely the right decision, and 4 great years with the organization.
Did you have any colleges in mind? Sorry?
Yeah, I did. I had a few offers from Denver, University of Michigan, North Dakota. So those were the big 3 that had kind of reached out to me. I think I was leaning more towards, playing major junior, but just depended on, where I landed and what situation, the team was in. So I think things just worked out really well.
Awesome.
So number 11, is there a special significance with wearing number 11 when you were with the Kamloops Blazers?
It's just kind of being the number I've worn my whole life. My cousin Jeff Jones, who's from Revelstoke, he grew up playing hockey as well, and played a bit of Junior B for the Grizzlies for a year, and then played Junior A for the Centennials. And then from there, he got a scholarship to play at Robert Morris University down in the States, which was Division I at the time. And then he moved on to play a bit of East Coast, and then he kind of shut her down from there. But I always looked up to him. He's a bit older than me, so he wore number 11, and I think I just really enjoyed watching him. So that's just kind of the reason I wear number 11.
Awesome.
So obviously playing in Kamloops, what was the honor of getting that captaincy? You know, we've had some great captains here over the years. Scott Niedermeyer, I believe, Shane Doan. So what is, getting put in those names, that category, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it was huge. It's a big responsibility. I think when it does come down to wearing, season A's, I don't think it, changes much for me. I don't try and change the way I lead or what I do on and off the ice. I think kind of everybody can lead in their own way. Obviously, you're relied upon a bit more, having that letter on your chest. But yeah, huge honor, and grateful that I was selected to wear the C.
I want to talk about the World Juniors, as that was such a huge tournament that you got invited to twice. Just take me through how the experience was, how you felt to wear that Canada on your chest. Just take me through that whole experience there.
I think, yeah, for every kid, like, that's what you dream of. Getting to play in that tournament twice and winning gold both times doesn't happen very often. So, yeah, really cool that I got those opportunities. It's interesting to play, players from across the world in different countries and see the other skill sets that, players have. And it's a good eye opener too, just to see the other talent that's out there. So, yeah, it's just a unique feeling, when the country's behind you and, the fans, come together around Christmas time to cheer you on. So, really special opportunity.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome to see. The one year you had Garan there, and then the next you had Banks there. So that'd been pretty awesome to have a teammate there to help calm the nerves. Yeah, and it must have been an awesome celebration winning gold with them too, bringing it back home to Kamloops. Yeah,
it's nice when you can share it with a teammate of yours, and yeah, like you said, Garan the first year, Banks the second year. So yeah, it was great having them both on the team, and getting to share that experience, really cool. And then I think, yeah, just after the fact, getting to win the tournament, standing in the blue line and singing "O Canada," that's really cool. So I was glad I could participate.
Just to bounce off that, Logan, I was actually in the arena singing "O Canada" too. I want to know what it was like in Halifax, like the atmosphere in Halifax compared to other rinks you played in.
Yeah, it was unreal. I know our goal song was really popular there too. Heave Away. So the fans loved that and kind of got behind it. So it's nice when there always seems to be, every couple of years, there's a standout song, goal song. So yeah, it's unreal just how loud it got in there when we would score, and especially in the gold medal game when we won in overtime. It was just next level.
Off that, Shane Wright kind of took it to himself and said, "We're gonna keep it a secret until we score that first goal against Czechia, and then the song will be played." Kind of take me through what that was like, hiding that goal song from the fans just until the first goal.
Yeah, honestly, we didn't really have much discussion about it. I think it was more between like Shane and the coaching staff. I think that was more their decision. Us players didn't really have much say. So, yeah, I thought it was a great choice. I think we were all interested to see what it was. We didn't really know, but yeah, it was cool to see the fans get behind it like that.
Awesome.
When it comes to Memorial Cup playoffs and NHL playoffs, was there like a big transition for you in like speed or just any big differences really between the transition of the two?
Yeah, for sure. I think just, the guys are so much bigger and faster, and everyone seems to be in the right spot. Obviously, WHL playoffs were a lot of fun, and I think it does prepare you, just the grind of the 7-game series, and some of those series do get pretty physical, especially when we played against Portland or Seattle. But NHL is just a whole different level, and yeah, you're basically playing every other night, and there's some big boys out there, so you got to keep your head up.
Was there any guy on your team that kind of like helped eat or calm your nerves or kind of take you under his wing to kind of get you through the playoffs? Or
I wasn't, too nervous. I think, your first few games you're a bit nervous. You don't know what to expect, but I think, in Dallas we had a pretty veteran group. Guys like Pavelski and Ben and Seg and Duchesne. They all did a really good job of, kind of keeping the room calm and, ready to go for, whatever game or period that was coming up next. So I didn't, need to lean on them too much, but it's nice having those guys around. They've been through it before. So if you have any questions, it's nice just to go up to them and ask them about it.
nice.
And you and Duchesne, you were both almost like trade acquisitions or trade deadline. Like you came up right around that 3/4 season mark, and you went on to put up another 14 points in just 24 games played as a rookie. Like, what was that like? Kind of actually feeling like you were really contributing to an already really good hockey team right out of the gate.
Yeah, it was fun, getting that call up. I think the first few games you're kind of running on adrenaline and, just trying to kind of take it all in. It's a bit surreal, when you're on the ice against some of those top guys. But, I think I had a hot start there and it kind of tapered off there a bit. But I think the next thing for me is to try and become a more consistent player and being able to contribute at a consistent pace. So I think there's always parts of my game that I'm, trying to continue to work on and hopefully as I get more experience in the league, I can be relied upon more too.
Logan, is there anything that the team like specifically wants you to work on over the summer? Like any points in your game that they really want you to hit on the head?
I think the one thing at the year-end meeting, I know Jim Nill kind of wanted me to work on my shot and just keep on, trying to work on my goal scoring aspect. I think when I was younger, a big part of my game was goal scoring, and I think now I have a bit of a mix of goal scoring and playmaking. But there's not tons of guys that are just pure goal scorers at the next level, and goals are huge at in the NHL level, and that's what teams want. So I think just keep continuing to work on my shot, on the ice or in the garage, shooting pucks. So that's the big thing.
Well, even for you this year, you found a lot of success like Zach Hyman did, man. You were like 3 to 5 feet from the net. You were in there, despite everyone always talking about your size, man. You just get right in there. You were driving in hard on all those larger defenders, and that's honestly, you were cashing in the playoffs from those areas. We were happy to see it.
Yeah, it's nice when you can kind of score from all different areas, and that's what teams like, and I think that'll get you more opportunity as well. If you can show the team that you're willing to go to those dirty areas and those hard areas, especially being a smaller guy, you'll get more opportunity to go out there. So I think for me, it's just not being scared to go up against those bigger guys.
As a smaller guy, is there anything that you really have to like try and work harder at and like kind of that gives you a little bit of more motivation?
Yeah, I think the speed aspect of the game, smaller legs, right? Being a smaller guy, so for every whatever five strides I'm taking, other guys are taking maybe 3. So it's harder for smaller guys to get around the ice. You got to have quick feet, and I try and work on that in the gym or doing power skating in the summer. So I think that's something that I'm just going to continue to work on, and it helps. There's pros and cons to being a smaller guy, but being speed out there is key.
Yeah, sweet.
If we do take it back to the AHL, were you honestly surprised, like at the beginning of the year, you're coming into your first pro season, like, do you expect that you were going to be leading the AHL and scoring at some point not only leading it, but as a rookie as well. Like, just an amazing start to your year, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. AHL is a really good league too. For me, the coaches put me in a really good spot, and I had some great line mates. Obviously, Maverick Bork I was playing with, and Curtis McKenzie for chunks of the season. So two great players, and I thought we had some great chemistry. So shout out to them too. Obviously, I can't get all the success without them helping me and making plays too. So like I said, I didn't expect to put up a ton of points, and I think at the end of the day, it's not a race to get to the NHL. I think, when you do get that call up, you want to be prepared and willing to contribute right away.
Absolutely.
Logan, when you were still playing with the Blazers, who was the team in the Western Hockey League you had the most fun playing against? Like the most passionate, the most heated, stuff along the lines of that?
That's a good question. I liked playing some of the U.S. teams. I liked playing Vancouver, Kelowna. There were some good rivalries that we had. Some of the U.S. buildings get pretty rowdy, like when we'd go down to Seattle. They have really loud fans, so it was fun building to play in. Portland was always fun to play against. I think Everett's got a loud building too. So, yeah, and then obviously just our battles against Kelowna. Certain years we'd have more success, some years they would, but it was nice that for I guess all 4 years that I played, we had really strong teams. So a lot of good teammates that I was fortunate to play with.
Bouncing off that one question that Dally said, was there any favorite bar night you played in, other than Kamloops, an away bar night you really loved to just play in?
Trying to think here. I actually liked playing in Tri-City quite a bit. I don't think it was because of their, the atmosphere or anything. I think it was just more the ice. I felt like whenever I'd go there, I just had a lot of energy and felt good on the ice. And I seemed to have, quite a bit of success when we'd go there. So I think I always, got excited to play when we'd go down to Tri-Cities.
Do you know why that is? Hey, why some guys that get to these higher levels, there's just some teams that you just feel it every time you go there, and then some teams you don't feel it at all when you go there. Do you know why you felt that way ever? Were you ever able to be like, man, why am I so good in Tri-Cities but not here? I have an off night.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something I'm still trying to figure out. It's weird. I think at every level there's always good barns and bad barns that you go to, and sometimes you get pumped to play, or because that you've had success here in the past, or there are some times where I know I didn't have a ton of success when we'd go up to Prince George, so maybe you'd get a little bit extra nervous, or you'd grip the stick a bit more. So I don't know, it's weird. I can't really explain it. It's a weird thing. I think all players have it, but yeah, I mean, hopefully you have more good barns than bad barns.
So how was your first time in Denver, Colorado, playing at Ball Arena against the Avs? Did the altitude really affect you when it first hit you, playing in that arena?
Yeah, I think the first time I played there was a preseason game a few years back, and you could tell, kind of right in warm-ups at the beginning of the game that, yeah, the altitude does take a little bit of a effect on you, but it's nothing too severe where, you can't breathe or anything, but you just got to make sure you take a bit shorter shifts and don't get stuck out there too long.
Were you using any of those cans that we saw guys using? Those air cans?
No, I didn't use any of those actually, but actually they had those in our hotel rooms when we'd stay there, so that was funny. When we'd walk in the room, they'd have them there, but obviously you'd have to pay for them. But yeah, no, I never got a chance to use one of those.
Fair enough.
When it came to your draft, did you have a team in mind that you thought was going to pick you, or did you know that Dallas was going to be the team to grab you?
I know that a few teams were, super interested. I know Boston, LA, Seattle. they interviewed me, 2-3 times at least, and usually when teams keep coming back, it's a good sign. And they told me that they were looking at grabbing me in the draft, and I didn't expect. Honestly, I didn't even really talk to Dallas. I think that was more because obviously Tom, being in the Blazers and the Dallas, organization, maybe they knew enough, about me already, so that they didn't really have to interview me too much. But I was happy, being selected by Dallas.
Well, we know you're a humble guy, but the rest of us were like, how's this kid not a first-round pick? We were like, there's no way Logan, when we were watching this draft, we were like, there's no way Logan didn't go first round. We thought it was crazy. But knowing everything now, the success you've had with Texas Stars, Dallas Stars, like, couldn't have fit better for you, honestly. But the whole city of Kamloops was like, how'd this kid fall out of the first 32 spots, or 31, however many teams were there? Like, I guess 32 because you said Seattle. So,
yeah, it was a bit disappointing. Like you said, I'm not a cocky guy, but I think I had confidence in myself that, I thought that I'd go in the first round. But it helps with anything. If you go in the first round, you get a bit better entry level deal, and I think you get a bit more opportunity within the organization. But looking back on it now, it doesn't really mean that much. You still got to crack the lineup and make the team and whatnot. So it was a disappointing day, but I was happy that I could go early. The next day of the draft.
and were you sitting there at the draft? You were there live, weren't you?
No, actually, that was when COVID was going on, so they had a virtual draft. We had my family and I had to set up a camera in our living room, and in case I was selected in the first round, I think they live stream it or whatever, your celebration. But obviously that didn't happen, so it was disappointing. But I think maybe it was a good thing. It motivated me for that next season to kind of try and prove everybody wrong, and I just want to become the best player I can be. So I still try and keep that in the back of my mind.
I don't know if you remember this, but you absolutely smoked me in Chell that one day at Len's house. But you were Montreal. Is Montreal your favorite team?
Growing up, Montreal and Pittsburgh were my two favorite teams. I think Montreal because of Mike Camilleri. I just liked him. He was a smaller guy that could put the puck in the net. And then Pittsburgh was just because of Crosby, obviously. So, those are the main reasons. But, I still play a bit of Chell, actually, sometimes.
Yeah, that was a big third period comeback. A little bit cheesed a bit.
Back to Dallas, though, in the playoffs. On that playoff run, they gave you a major role. Second line or first line. You guys were kind of alternating those two lines depending on, obviously, who the other team was matching up. Like, how awesome was that to have that major role for you?
Yeah, it's challenging, and it's exciting, too. They're giving you a job, and whether it be to try and go out there and create offense or try and shut down the other team's top line, it's exciting. And I think at that level, whatever job you're given, you try and do it at the best of your ability. And it was a lot of fun, and super fortunate that I was given the ice time that I had, and hopefully I can just keep on building on that this past season.
Now living in Dallas, what's the biggest difference living in such a southern state compared to Canada?
I think the biggest thing is the weather. They don't really have much of a winter down there, so it's nice, when it's November, December, January, you're wearing t-shirt and shorts to the rink. So I really enjoyed that. I'm not a huge fan of how much traffic there is in Dallas. Obviously, it being a really big city. So that's a big difference too. Coming from Kamloops here, not much traffic, and the highways or the freeways there are huge as well. But and there always just seems to be so many fast food joints and restaurants down there. It's insane.
Talking about fast food joints, I know you might not be big into it, but what's your cheat meal?
I don't know if I have a cheat meal, but I know some of the restaurants that I like trying down there were tried In-N-Out Burger. or In and Out once, and had a couple burgers from there. That was really good. I think I had a shake from Sonic one time. That was solid. But
those are unreal.
I usually tried to cook for myself in my apartment, or when we were on the road, the team supplied food for you, so that was nice. But every once in a while you get a good cheap meal. I like Chick-fil-A too. They got good food.
Yeah, that's a
Nice.
good one. Valid.
So speaking of living, are you going to be in an apartment next year? We heard they were talking about you and Wyatt Johnson were potentially staying with Pavelski. Obviously Pavelski stepping away potentially from the NHL. Are you going to be living with some guys? Or are you going to be moving in with a veteran? What's your goal for next season, living wise?
Yeah, right now it's just going to be probably living on my own, getting my own little apartment. It'd be nice to be around, some of the other younger guys like Wyatt Johnston or Thomas Harley. So,
Yep.
Maybe we try and find apartments all near each other. That'd be nice. Just to be able to kind of be around each other and maybe have dinner together, make dinner together one night or whatever, but or carpool. But not really too sure what the plan is just yet. Looking forward to this next season.
Probably major differences in living expenses between there and here, eh?
Yeah, it's actually quite cheap down there. A lot of the housing and the apartments and stuff. It's nice. You can get a big nice property for $500K. So it's pretty sweet.
So of all the players you've played against, everyone mentions like they have the welcome to the NHL moment. Who was the guy that you played against that was like, welcome to the NHL, I'm playing against X player tonight?
I think it was maybe the Crosby when we played when Pittsburgh came to us, or getting to play McDavid for the first time when they came to Dallas as well. They're kind of or near each other. Kind of those two games, though. That was really cool to get to play those guys. You grew up watching those guys and just see their skill set on TV, but then to kind of step on the ice next to them and be battling in the corners or whatnot, it's pretty sweet. So, yeah.
Yeah, can I ask you one? Like, how do you flip that switch from you played in the playoffs against McDavid, like from going from like, oh, this is cool to play against him, to like basically having to hate him, right? To be like, okay, like I gotta be going against this guy hard, like. It's not Connor McDavid, it's just another guy I'm versing on the ice. Like, how do you make that mental switch?
I think after the first few games, your mindset kind of like once I got called up, I think after the first few games, it kind of switches and like I said before, the first few games you're kind of running on adrenaline and whatnot, and just excited to be there, and it's a pretty cool opportunity. But once you kind of get your first 10 games or 20 games under your belt, it becomes more of a natural thing. So, you gotta respect those top guys, but at the same time, play them hard and can't give them any time or space. So, some of those guys are just on a whole nother level, and hopefully I can get there someday. That would be amazing.
Definitely well on your way for sure.
When it comes to pregame rituals, do you have one, or is there any like weird ones that stand out to you that you've witnessed on Dallas, or even the Stars for that matter?
I don't really have too many, superstitions or rituals. I usually like to, nap on game day, which a lot of guys do. Sometimes I'll stick handle before games, kick the soccer ball around with the guys. Usually tape up my stick, but I don't think any other guys had any like crazy superstitions or weird ones. But there has been a few teammates in the past that are pretty dialed with their superstitions.
You must be pretty excited for your first game at the Bell Center, eh?
Yeah, I heard it's an unreal atmosphere, so I'm excited to go there.
I think we'll just end off on this for you to respect your time. How cool is it to not be invited to prospect camp? Because that kind of means that the organization values you a little bit higher than having to go to that camp. They want you to be ready for the next season. Like, how cool was that to already not have to go to prospect camp when some guys are 22, 23 still at prospect camp?
Yeah, I mean it is nice, just especially after a long season. It's nice to be at home and train and not have to fly, down to Dallas for whatever 4 or 5 days for dev camp. As much as it is fun, it does take away from a bit of your training time. I have a trainer here in town that I work with, and I have ice times, usually pretty often. So it's nice just to stay back this summer and kind of just focus on my training and what I have going on here.
Well, awesome, man. I think based on that, we'll end it there. But again, we really appreciate you coming on the podcast, setting aside this half an hour for us. That was an awesome experience. You're our first guest, so we can't be happier to have you on. And we wish you nothing but the best, man.
Good luck next season.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Take care.
Okay, take care.
Thanks everybody for watching episode 36 of the Gamedaytarps podcast. This has been a very special one. Thanks to Logan, a very big help for this podcast, and we wish him the best of luck. Go follow Wilbs at WilbsPuck. Follow me at Blue Nose Hockey, and follow the podcast at Gamedaytarps. Listen everywhere you get your podcast or on YouTube. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.